Good morning, y'all. We made it for Storytelling Tuesday. I had to make sure that we made it today because I have a very special story for you today. And hey, Ryan Taylor, good to see you, brother. I got a very special story for you today for Storytelling Tuesday. And I had to celebrate getting my brand new mug in the mail from Matt and Kate Williams. Thank y'all very much, y'all. If you don't know Matt Williams, he's a retired Army chaplain and now has Vet Church, where they drive around the country helping veterans and preaching the gospel. So we love some Matt Williams. Matt's got is a musician as well in the last Honky Tonk Music series. And he's got a new record out as well that he sent me I'll be listening to today. So thanks, Matt, for the wonderful letter that you sent me. I appreciate that, and I love you too, brother. Thanks for the stickers and the wonderful mug. Matt made this mug, and it was his first firing, he said, of his new ceramic hobby. So I appreciate that, brother. Love and miss y'all very much, and I hope y'all are doing well out there. And Stickers is going to get some new stickers. So he's happy about that, too. Hey, Patricia, good to see you this morning. Hey, Shay, good to see you this morning. Are you still hungover? Hey, Joanna, good to see you, too, and I'm glad you're still here from your little almost kidnapped episode. Be careful in New Orleans. It's getting dangerous by the day. More dangerous by the day, it seems like. And I hate to hear that. But I'm glad you're doing well. Hey, Charlotte, good to see you this morning. Hey, Sue Smith, good to see you. Hey, Jenna, good to see you this morning. Glad y'all could make it. So it is Storytelling Tuesday. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you this morning. It is Storytelling Tuesday, and I had to make it today for this story. I've been looking at a computer screen all day long. Hey, Gay, good to see you this morning. And it kind of goes with this story as well. We're still telling stories of Africa, and this story is going to set up next week's story, which is so incredible, sometimes I don't even believe it's true. If it wouldn't have happened to me, I don't think I would ever believe it. So you want to make it next Tuesday for sure. And I saved it. I planned this whole Africa series just to be able to tell this story next week, the week of Christmas. So I hope y'all are going to enjoy that. I can't wait to tell it to you. And it starts out like this. It starts out kind of the lead up to it is very important too. And it starts out like this. You know, the first story I told about Africa was when we stayed, when we just landed in Soyo. And we had a hair-raising experience the first day we were there. We got left there. We didn't have a contact to meet us at the airport. So we were all by ourselves, and this guy pulled up in a van, in a shuttle van, and we jumped in with him thinking he was our guy. And then we realized he might not be our guy when he stopped in the middle of the road there in Soyo our first day, which was a kind of hair-raising because it was a bunch of local guys that fortunately he knew and was joking around with, but there were a bunch of guys standing in the middle of the road when we came to the stop, and we didn't know what was going on, and you can kind of imagine that, how your heart gets racing when you don't know what's happening in a situation like that. So that kind of leads to this story too. So I had been in Africa. This was either my second or third year. I can't remember. I have to go back and really check. I was thinking about that when I first, before I came on today. Hey, Red, good to see you this morning. Welcome. Hey, Jamie, good to see you this morning. Hey, I want to welcome all the new members too, y'all. We have a lot of new members that are joining the group and joining us in the morning. So thank y'all for being here in the morning, y'all. I appreciate that. If y'all don't know about the group or just joining, we try to start your day off with a song and a smile every day. And usually it's a little earlier than this, but it's kind of hit and miss sometimes because I have a day gig and I kind of work around that. And I'll tell you a little bit about my day gig today because it has to do with this story and what I do. So right now, I'm working from home, fortunately. I've been working from home since well before the pandemic, so I'm not working from home because of the pandemic. I get a chance to work from home, and I'm so fortunate and blessed because I can work from home right now because of what I'm doing. I'm a quality guy. I'm an industrial inspector, and I was a quality manager for a long time for a subsea company here in town. And when I was in Africa, I was working for those guys as well. I went over there and was a quality manager there in Africa for at a site where we were building some subsea manifolds and suction piles. I'll share some pictures of that later on so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I was over there, and my job was to put together, you know, when we build these things, they got to weld them, they got to, they're made of all different kinds of materials, piping and structural materials. So they have to weld them, they have to paint them, they have to test them. And my responsibility back then was to, at every stage of fabrication along the way, they have to document what they do. There's a test reports and procedures that they have to follow and sign off on. And at that time, when I was in Africa, part of my job was to oversee the fabricators' quality system and their inspectors, make sure they were kind of doing what they were supposed to be doing. It's called vendor surveillance. And I was a quality manager there, responsible for putting together all these data books, which accompany the material offshore to get installed, and also they keep records of it for years because in case there's some kind of failure along the way. So hey, Brian Cunningham, good to see you. Jacob Gibbons, good to see you. Johnny Mack, good to see you, brother. I was asking Shay if she was still hungover. So I put together these data books, and they're usually binders full of material by the end of the job. And I had to sign off on all that. And nowadays what I do is that I just review all this technical data for the end user company that is buying this equipment. And I check and make sure that all the procedures that are supposed to be there are there and signed off, and all the testing has been done and signed off and things like that. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm so blessed to be able to do it because it gives me a chance to see you every morning when I get a chance to take a break from doing that. So today I looked at a computer screen long enough, like most days, and I'm thankful to be able to share a little time with you today to tell you this story. So at that time I was in Africa, and I was responsible for putting together these books. And it was just a few days before Christmas. And one of my deals when I went over there, my girls were still very young. So one of my deals was I get home for Christmas. You know, I'll go to Africa, but I get to come home for Christmas. So I was there with a team, and our little compound, you know, we had guys coming in and out, testing guys, different engineers would come in and out and stay with us from time to time. Some were on hitches like me, which would stay for 30 days or so and go back and forth. And some guys would just come in for their particular, to perform their particular duties for however long they were there, and they'd come in and out. We'd have visitors and things. So our little compound was usually bustling, full of activity. However, this was Christmas, and most of the guys, like me, were going to be leaving out to go home. Matter of fact, everybody was going to be going home, I believe, except I think Don Fawcett stayed this year. But we were all scheduled to leave out on a Thursday or a Friday. I can't remember what day it was. So we were scheduled to go out, and there's a guy from the base that coordinates all the logistics of people coming in and out and when they fly in and fly out. Hey, Paul Matlow, good to see you, brother. Drew Moses, Jerry Weston, good to see y'all today. Hey, Mom, good morning. Hey, Angel, good morning. Good to see y'all this morning. So there was a coordinator that coordinated the logistics of everybody going in and out. And I was scheduled to go out with everybody else a few days before Christmas. However, we had some equipment going out, and I was responsible for building all these books and everything. And of course, it was the end of the year coming as well, so everybody was looking forward to clearing stuff out so they could get paid for stuff that was done before the end of the year. And so when this guy was coming out and letting everybody know when they were leaving the next day and that their tickets were available, I had to tell him, hey, I can't leave out tomorrow. I have to leave out the next day because I have to finish this work today. I can't leave until this stuff's done, so I'll be leaving the next day, tomorrow, or the day after. So he was like, okay, I'll make sure that happens. No problem. So the next day, everybody else left. I stayed behind to finish my duties, and it was just me and Don Fawcett there for that particular day. And then I was going to leave out the next day, and Don was going to stay. Now I'm not sure if he stayed for Christmas or not, but he must have, because the day that I left out was the last day you could leave. I'll take my guitar off for a second to tell you this story because I'm not sure how animated I'm going to be. Hey, Linda, hey, Becky, good to see y'all this morning. So, we were at the house, just Don and I, our little compound. And if y'all remember, our little compound was a nice house, nice big house, as nice as you could get in Sorio, really. And the company paid an outrageous price for it, but we weren't on the base, we were in the village. And we had a wall around the compound. I say the compound, it was a house with several apartments, 4 little apartments in the back, which I had one of the apartments. And Don had a room in the house. So it was just me and him that night. We had a nice dinner together, talked about how we couldn't wait for Christmas, and I was excited to get home to see my kids and my family. And so we retired for the evening, and I went to my apartment on the outside of the house, and he went to bed in his room in the house. And I had everything packed, and I was ready to go. I had a big suitcase packed because I was going to be going home for 30 days through the new year. And I was excited to get on the plane the next day. Well, I went to bed, and this was probably, it was at least one of the scariest times I had spent in Africa, if not the most scariest time that I spent, because I had worked my butt off that whole week. I was exhausted. I was ready to get home, and eager and excited to get home. But I was in bed, and round about midnight or so, I was awakened by some banging. Woke up hearing some banging going on, and then I heard some voices, and they weren't happy voices. So I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? Is there something going on, you know, out in the village? Some kind of unrest happening, or what's going on? And then as the banging continued, I realized that these guys were in the compound, and they were banging on doors of the other apartments and of the house. So as I heard this and realized this, one, my adrenaline started pumping, and two, I got up and put some clothes on as quietly as I could. All my lights were off in my apartment, so I didn't turn any lights on. I just put my clothes on and kind of waited to see what was going to happen. Well, I could hear them banging, and they were yelling, "June, June!" What the heck is going on? Well, they eventually made it to my apartment door. And our apartments had frosted glass. So there was a big window of frosted glass, and there was a frosted glass in my door. So you couldn't see in, but I could see the silhouettes on the outside. And there was, I think, 4 of them right outside my door, shaking the handle of the door and beating on the door. And they were yelling, "June, June." And I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do? We don't have any weapons. You know, it's not legal to have weapons there. So I had no idea what the hell I was going to do. And I was just, Rodney Pardue, good to see you, brother. Hey, Pete Girardi, good morning. Good to see y'all. Telling stories about Africa this morning. So these guys came to my door around midnight and were beating on my door, yelling, "June, June." So I had no idea what to do. I stepped out of my little bedroom area where my little kitchenette is, and I grabbed the biggest knife I had, and I eased over to the side of the wall where the door was. My heart's racing the whole time, and I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do if these guys come into my room? You know, if they break my door down. So I'm thinking I may have to try to fight my way out of this and maybe run to the base. I didn't know what had happened to Don. If the house had been broken into inside. So my heart was racing, to say the least. And I'm standing against the wall, just prepared for the worst. Well, eventually, they left my door and moved on. And I I had a sigh of relief for a second, but I, as quietly as I could in the dark, I found my shoes, put my shoes on, and was prepared to maybe have to fight my way out and maybe try to run to the base, which was a couple of miles away. Well, they moved on. And I kind of breathed a sigh of relief for a second. Didn't hear anything for a little while, so I went and laid back down, fully clothed, in my shoes. And sure enough, a short while later, here comes the noise again. Here comes the banging again. Here they come again to my door. And this time I'm fully clothed, and I've got a knife, and I'm ready. But I'm trying to be as quiet as I can, because the last thing I want to do is have to confront these guys or them break into my room or something. It was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life, because I had no idea what I was going to do. And you hear all kind of horror stories of what happens in other countries to workers or guys in the military when they get captured by unfriendlies. So I had no idea what was going on, but here they come again, banging on my door, June, June. And then it kind of dawned on me, oh, I think they're looking for John, our security guy. If y'all remember the pictures that I shared last week of Conga, our cook, and John, our security guy, I said, oh, I think they're looking for John, our security guy, which he obviously was nowhere to be found. So I don't know if they jumped the gate or got into the gate some kind of way. Obviously they got in the gate some kind of way. But anyway, kind of to make a long story short, this went on several more times throughout the night. And I'd never been so happy to see the sunrise in my life, because I didn't get very much sleep that night, if you can imagine. And the next morning, I had to go to the airport to catch my flight home for Christmas. So I saw Don Fawcett, who was the only other guy with me in the compound that night. And he was like, yeah, I heard that too. And I just did the same thing as you did. I tried to stay as quiet as I could. All the doors were locked. Thank goodness they didn't really try to break into the rooms, because it would have been very easy to really break into the rooms and crash the windows. Not in the house, because they had bars in the house. But for the most part, the apartments were just frosted glass. So very thankful that I didn't have to confront those guys that night. They never knew that I was inside the room. Thank goodness. And they didn't disturb Don either. They didn't break in the house either. But me and Don talked about it and said, we didn't know what the hell we were going to do, because it was just us there, and we were outnumbered. So you know, when you go overseas, you never can tell what's going to happen. And that's just one of the times that I didn't know what was going to happen. And still gives me chills to think about it, but I'm thankful that that we made it out without a real incident happening, you know, because anyway, you can imagine. So that sleepless night leads into the story that I'm going to tell you next week for Christmas, because next week I have the most incredible story I think you may ever hear of the time that I made it home for Christmas by getting on a commercial flight in Angola without a ticket. And so when I tell this story or think about this story, I can't even believe it myself sometimes. And it's going to take me a while to tell the story next week, but it's my Christmas angel story, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you, and I hope you'll stick around next week to hear it. So I don't know what I'm going to play today. I hadn't had a chance to play anything today or practice at all today, but I wanted to make sure that I made it today, because I wanted to thank Matt Williams and Kate from Vet Church for sending me the wonderful package, the new mug and the stickers, and the wonderful letter of support, because I love those guys and they do fantastic work. So go check out Vet Church, y'all, if you can. They do phenomenal work with veterans. Like I said, Matt is a retired Army chaplain, and they just travel around the country now helping veterans and spreading the gospel. So check those guys out. Matt's a great musician too and songwriter. Hey Sue, thanks. Yeah, okay, it was. Bill McCarty, good to see you, brother. Hey Marianne, good to see you. Rodney Pardue, we're gonna have to jam sometime, brother. Hope you're doing well. You still in Arkansas or what? Let me know, brother. I have no idea what I'm gonna play today, y'all. I guess I'm gonna play High Rollin' Man because I got a kick to it, and I've got to pick myself up after that story. I may need a drink, but it's too early because I got work to do still. And I got to get my butt back to work, for sure. It sure will, Bill. One of the things I tell everybody is that, you know, you're never more thankful to be from America until you go overseas. And you realize how special America really is, how unique we truly are as Americans. You know, people around the world take it, they don't take it for granted, but we take it for granted here. And I won't get political today, but a lot of folks in this country take what we have for granted because they've never experienced having to live like most of the rest of the world does, not being able to be free thinkers. You know, people in this country take it for granted that you're able to have a free thinking mind in this country, to use your God-given rights as an American, to speak freely, and you still can in this country. I encourage you to use it while you still can, because the rest of the world, you know, envies us because of that. And I guarantee you, if you go to a lot of these other places around the world, you will recognize quite quickly why they call us from America when there's a huge job to get done in the oil and gas industry or other industries like that. I always tell everybody, hey, when they need something built in the oil and gas industry, they call the Coonasses and the Texans. Because we're the ones that know how to do it. And the rest of the world, they have to spend their entire lives living in a mental box. They can't literally think outside the box because it's illegal. And if they do, they'll get their heads cut off, you know, or they'll be jailed. So that's just my little America speech today as well. Be thankful that you're a free-thinking American, and I encourage you to use that ability that we have, because it truly is unique in the world. You know, they say that America is not an exceptional nation, or American exceptionalism to some people. I won't get into who, but y'all know who I'm talking about for the most part. They say American exceptionalism, oh, we're exceptional because like the Greeks think they're exceptional, have an exceptional nation, or the French think they have an exceptional nation, or whoever. And that's totally wrong. We're an exceptional nation and an exceptional people because we are the only people in the world who have been allowed for centuries to be free-thinking people. And other people who have not had that ability really don't know how to use it. So that's just my little spiel. Let me get off of that before I get too carried away. God bless America. You're right, Gabe. We are truly blessed, y'all. All right, let me get off my soapbox. Hope y'all enjoyed that little story today, y'all. I enjoyed sharing some time with you today. But I gotta get my butt back to work, so I'll play you a quick one. Well, I'm headed out of Houston. I got that hammer down. You know I'd love to stay, but I just can't stick around. Oh no. I'm a high-rolling man. There ain't no town that I found big enough for a high-rolling man. I got a gal up in Memphis, one in New Orleans, but that baby of mine from Birmingham, she's a living dream, oh yeah. I'm a high-rolling man. There's just one woman that I know who can hold a high-rolling man. That's right. Happy Tuesday, y'all! Yeah! Hey, April, good to see you on a Tuesday. Me too. Oh yeah. It's a lunch break Tuesday. tables out in Vegas and Atlantic City too. When that pit boss sees me coming, man, he don't know what to do. Oh no, 'cause I'm a high rolling man, yes I am. Well, Lady Luck, she loves a high rolling man. Well, I'm headed out of Houston, I got that hammer down. You know I'd love to stay, but I just can't stick around. Oh no, I'm a high rolling man. Well, Lady Luck, she loves a high rolling man. Yeah, Lady Luck's in love with this high rolling man. Little Storytelling Tuesday, y'all. Thanks for joining me today. I sure appreciate that. It's good to see y'all today. Now I gotta get my butt back to work. So leave me some comments about how your week's going. Hope you're off to a great week. And I hope your day started out with a song and a smile today. Thank y'all for joining me, y'all, and thanks for listening to all these stories. I appreciate it, and I'm glad you're enjoying them. I love to hear the comments. I'm going to try to share some pictures that I can of some of the equipment we built and some of the team that I had a chance to work with there in Africa. Miss those guys all the time. So look forward to that. I'll see if I can't get some of that out for you tonight. So in the meantime, y'all, you know what to do. Go out there, spread some happiness and healing, perpetuate some positivity, y'all. Peace!